Radical.
Man, oh man, I'm out of the loop. I'm really out of the loop on this. I'm just now hearing about this strike going on in Hollywood between the companies and the writers and the actors. The only reason I actually know about this is because I, searched some Deadpool 3 info, trying to find some details about the movie because, you all know I love Deadpool. I love the two movies. I love the character. And, of course, with the return of Wolverine to the role, I was super hyped about that. He even has, look it up, the yellow and blue costume. Looks kind of dorky, but still fucking awesome. He looks good walking beside a Deadpool. Look at the picture. I was hyped, excited about that movie. Until I found out it was delayed because of a strike between the actors and the writers guild and, companies like Disney and whatnot. It's basically over, I believe, a lot of royalties that the actors and the writers feel that they deserve. And a lot has to do with streaming also. Because nowadays, how people consume content is different. Used to be, you would have to go to the movies to see a movie, to see a new movie. Now, with Disney Plus, Netflix, and Hulu and Amazon, you get to see new movies that were created just for those platforms. So if you're an actor and a writer in those movies, generally what would happen is you would get residual pay from the commercials or the ads that were running on the movie. But now, since, the streaming, it's not exactly the same. Some people I've read actually point to the Daredevil writer, the person that wrote the Daredevil episode of She-Hulk, got about $400 in residuals. That's all they got. But to counter that, I would say I've heard She-Hulk is fucking terrible, so maybe you didn't deserve even $200 for that. But yeah, Hollywood is halted. Hollywood is halted right now. A lot of people leaving comments I've seen. Nothing of value was lost. This is a weird time for people to go on strike right now. I think the best time for these writers and actors to go on strike would have been during the pandemic. That would have been probably the ideal time. I know maybe not the same concerns about, I'll talk about chat AI in a minute. Maybe those concerns weren't around, but that would have been a time to actually squeeze them for more money or more residuals because everything was closed. Everything was closed during the pandemic, so everyone was at home, streaming, watching stuff. Under normal circumstances, fucking Tiger King wouldn't have been the most viewed thing ever, but it was because it happened and people couldn't go out to the movie theaters. The movie theaters were shut down. So that would have been probably the time. Now, there's a lot of fear between the people going on strike. It's not only about the residuals, but there's a lot of fear, and they want to put some things in place to make sure that this future they see happening does not happen between the companies and the writers and the actors. Most notably, chat AI. Now, I don't know much about chat AI, but as it continues to develop, might be a future to where chat AI can actually craft a whole script for a movie without the writers even being needed. Now, sure, there might be some errors in the AI and you might have to have somebody come up and replace stuff, but you feed it into a machine. There's a machine called Disney Movies, right? There's a machine called Disney Movies. What about like new Frozen movies, basically that were just chat AI? You wouldn't even really need anyone writing the movies. If you actually catch a lot of stuff put out by Disney that's garbage, you might think to yourself, well, there's no heart or emotion in this script. It just seems like it was made and constructed from bots. And of course, the bots would have to have that diversification installed into them to make sure that they add lots of people of color, lots of purple-haired people, maybe sprinkle in a couple transgenders here or there, in every new Disney production, because of course we need that, right? Speaking of that, I have a rant coming up on a certain future Disney production that might actually, because of this, might be a good thing of this, not be produced, but I'll reveal what that movie is later. Now, who's going to hurt a lot from this would not necessarily even be the writers and the actors, as much as the industry in LA and Hollywood around movies. A lot of the people that, write for these columns and these entertainment outlets, if there's nothing in Hollywood to report on, if new movies are not coming out, then that might be a really dry 2024 next year. Because, a lot of movies are actually completed and created or coming out this summer and through the rest of the year, maybe even to next year. But we could, if this carries on, we could see a late 2024 where there's hardly no movies coming out of Hollywood. And back to that one comment, nothing of value was lost. Because you think about Hollywood right now. You think just under Disney's umbrella, for instance, the Marvel movies, not nearly as good as they were before. TV shows like She-Hulk being absolute garbage. The writers of that show probably would be better off replaced with AI. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember ever in the She-Hulk comic series, I don't remember ever a situation where that bitch fucking twerked. But she twerks in the TV show. It's fucking crazy shit, right? Maybe this could actually, in the long run, be a good thing. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just kind of pissed because I might not get to see one of the few movies I actually care about going to see in the future. That would be Deadpool 3. Not a lot of movies I'm really excited about. I mean, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones. I'm not going to see Indiana Jones. There's maybe one or two movies I want to go see this summer. But a lot of Hollywood, maybe this could be the wake-up call that they need to change some things around. Now, there was a response from Bob Iger, who's over Disney, and a lot of people were pointing that, I don't have the exact comment in front of me, as being kind of heartless and cold. The fact that, what does he make, $47 million a year? Some people saying, you make $47 million a year and you don't do jack shit. And you're going to be kind of cold and heartless to a lot of the people that, I'm not talking about big actors, but you might be side actors that's going to be hurt from this. Background roles that don't get a lot of money, they're going to be hurt from this. Because, I'll finish off on this, and I'm sorry this is kind of all over the place. I do apologize, I'll try to tighten it in for the future upload. Anything future. This is just kind of, it's, like I said, all over the place. What I want to finish on talking about is this, and how these corporations have tried to figure out what a lot of the corporations are trying to do, replacing human beings. We see this with robots making hamburgers different places in the world, trying to replace these entry-level jobs because they can save a buck, trying to replace actual people. Through this, not just a chat AI replacing writers, what about those scenes of Indiana Jones early in the movie when he was young? Now, you're not thinking to yourself that they thought to themselves upon seeing that, and a lot of the other, not just Disney, a lot of the other companies were looking at that going, so we could basically have someone come in. We could pay them for 1 day of work to actually scan their entire body and use our, whatever the fuck they are. Sorry, I'm not really a techie. We can use our computers to generate what we need for the movies in the future. There's a lot of technology out there. And I think, there needs to be something put in place to make sure that these actors, side actors, low-paid actors, will not be just screwed out of stuff without being told. I think there was one situation where one of these companies actually had them come in, paid them for 1 day, and did not actually tell them that they were just trying to they had a green screen, and they were trying to get their likeness. That way they don't even need them anymore. You don't need the person anymore. You could just create movies with someone's likeness. So then I guess you sign your rights away if you go in there and you sign on down the line. Maybe you don't know what you're signing. But then if they need you for a future movie role, guess what? They have you. They don't need you anymore. They have all they need. I mean, heck, Harrison Ford, I mean, I hope he doesn't, but he could drop dead tomorrow. Disney has all the stuff they need to make future Harrison Ford movies. You know, they could have another person do the voice acting, and then maybe they could put some new Indiana Jones or have some whatever they want to do. They could do this. You see it with the de-aging of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, right? So what happens to the point to where, let's say these actors sign their rights away, and then you don't even need the actors anymore. Maybe, I mean, some of you might actually be thinking that's actually kind of cool, because you could get actors like Pacino, De Niro. You could make an alternate movie of Scarface, and you don't even need him anymore because, you know, you just get to do like the young facial scanning over him. There's a lot of technology, is what I'm saying, is coming out. And these corporations are trying to get in front of it and basically replace these jobs. For some reason, I'm thinking about that South Park episode. You took my job, they took your job. So it's not the worst thing in the world that Hollywood is kind of burning down right now, because I, for one, I don't know about a lot of you, but I'm just tired of a lot of the woke shit that's coming out of Hollywood.